Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Crypto Night Show. Your host Superman in the house. Our second live stream for today. If you haven't checked our first one out, we had an interview with True DeFi, one of the hottest DeFi ecosystems on Pulsechain, and that was a great show with Daniel and Neil and Executioner. Definitely check it out. That platform is running hot right now, and we're excited about its future. To be honest, it looks pretty good. But today we're going to talk about Bitcoin and get into the market. So we're going to cover obviously Bitcoin, Ethereum, Pulsechain. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. And we're going to obviously cover our usual markets with the stock market. But Bitcoin just popped just at the beginning of the live stream as I was setting up. Bitcoin has just been popping, and we're going to look at why that might have been the case. Very exciting things happening. Obviously, we had the Bitcoin conference on, and we had Michael Saylor there pumping out some good stuff. But he's talking about $10 million Bitcoin is the end game, $200 trillion market cap. Exciting. I think gold at the moment is about 34 what is it, 34 billion, I think it is. 34 billion, no, 34 trillion maybe. No, 34 billion, I think it's a bit trillion. No, 34 trillion actually. 34, get my numbers twisted around there. $34 trillion. So Bitcoin right now and crypto overall is about 2.6 trillion. So yeah, that makes it right. So pretty exciting. I've been talking about millions and billions and trillions all day today. But it is exciting, guys, where it's going to $10 million Bitcoin and, of course, a $200 trillion market cap. That's where he's talking about the end game. It's exciting times, guys. Exciting times. We've got Leech Star in the house. Go, bro. Again, good to see you, Leech Star. Welcome to the chat as well. It's always good to see fresh faces in the chat there. If you guys haven't subscribed, we're streaming on 3 YouTube channels. We're streaming on the Crypto Night Show, Superman Crypto, and Pulsechain X. So definitely smash subscribe on the way in. We're also streaming on X Live, and so smash the follow as well. And of course, we're excited about where the markets are going. It is kind of a no-brainer at this point, really. You just got to be able to diamond hands, make sure you got the quality stuff, and it's a pretty much magic carpet ride. It looks like AI is going to destroy a lot of white-collar jobs, even blue-collar jobs. And so getting the magical carpet ride in crypto is so important. And it looks like a no-brainer right now, doesn't it? So it could turn your life around. It's amazing stuff. So let's get into it without further ado. Let's check out what the stock market is. We're going to get up to Michael Saylor in due course as we cover Bitcoin. But let's see where the stock market ended for Thursday. So Thursday, another green day. It was a great green day in the market. So let's check that out. So we've got at the moment Wall Street futures edge up after record highs. We had the Magnificent Seven coming in, at least 4 of them, I think, this week. And we've got some good results, generally speaking. So great stuff there. We obviously still got the Iran conflict in focus as well, as the article says. We've got the Dow Jones, though, making a big move, guys, overnight, 1.6%, up 790 points to 49,652. And if we have a look at the year chart on the corner here, we haven't had a new all-time high in this chart since February, but it's getting there. It's getting there. So really excited where Dow Jones is going. The S&P 500 is up 1% today, 73 points to 7,200. Tom Lee has a target of 7,700, so it's another 500 points. And we've got a new all-time high, just coming off the new all-time high, but we're pretty much around all-time high areas, unlike the Dow Jones, which has still got a bit of work to do. The NASDAQ with all the tech companies in it is up 0.9%, 220 points. And you can see we're pretty much at all-time highs there on the NASDAQ. So fun times ahead, guys, fun times ahead. And what a strong V recovery we've had in the stock markets there. Software particularly, the AI age particularly doing well. The US dollar sitting at 98 versus its trading partners. Pretty steady there. And the VIX has gone down a lot, guys. So risk on. We're excited about that. So 16.89. And of course, down the bottom of the range is about 15. So we're doing pretty well there, 16.89. So down 10%. So risk on, baby. Bring it on. Bring it on. I'm excited about the future there. Let's go to the commodities. We got West Texas still elevated at $105, up 0.5%. And Brent oil there up 1% by $1 up to $111. So the oil still elevated there on the Strait of Hormuz issue there, and a potential chance that the United States go back in for a bigger strike, and of course wiping out more perhaps of those rocket cities underground. Who knows? We'll see what happens there. We've got the gold right now is up 0.1%, $8.50 to $4,600.38, $4,638, and silver at the moment up 1%, 75 cents to $74.77. Although we can see in silver we've had lower highs there as we go. So typically a rollover, and we're getting that in gold as well, despite the little green days today. That's pretty much it. But copper is holding up pretty high there, and of course copper is a sign of the economy doing well. So it's pretty good, and so silver increasingly so as well. So just as a backdrop, gold has about 1.5% inflation in other words, finding more gold in terms of the inflations of the supply. Silver's around about 10% long-term average. So that's adding additional supply. But of course, we know Bitcoin is just playing out the supply curve, and then there'll be pretty much nothing left, especially after 2036. I mean, there's hardly anything coming out, but by 2032, we've only got about 330 Bitcoin to remain. So I think that's kind of a key target there. We're looking forward to some pretty exciting Bitcoin appreciation, and I think Michael Saylor's right on the money there, around talking about $10 million of Bitcoin. It's going to be pretty exciting. He's helping to drive that reality. Anyway, we had the big Mag 7. So the Mag 7, the biggest 7 companies driving the stock market, and we had some good results so far. So the after hours trade, we had an Apple report following its quarterly earnings report as investors welcome signs of resilience, iPhone demand, and continued strength in its high margin services business. So it's got a good news. And we also had Reddit surge 13%. That left wing hellhole that surged as well. Now investors are looking ahead to the next batch of earnings. So we're going to get Chevron, ExxonMobil, and AutoNation. So a bit of oil and automobiles from the looks of it. So we'll keep a lookout for that coming up. There we go. Iran, of course, has counter-warned the United States that attack would trigger a longer and painful strikes on the American positions, obviously with some of the remaining missiles and things like that. But of course, Trump there probably looking for some pretty clever setup against the leadership there. Cutting off the head of the snake has been a master stroke there by the Americans, and of course the Israelis being the kingpin there with the good old Mossad. No doubt they've been working during the ceasefire to continue to get intelligence and undermine the regime if they do go for a second range strike there, just to finish off the rest of the obvious military and keep hunting and destroying any rocket cities that may remain. So that's kind of the setup there. We'll keep a lookout for that. Market essentially has moved on, right? Essentially, for the time being, has moved on from that. We also see a bit of a pickup in the expectations around the House and the Senate for the midterms in November. The markets have started back favoring the Republicans and Trump in that regard. So we'll see if that trend continues and how everything plays out. We also saw the Secretary of War, Hedgekett there, along with Kane, the chief of General's Command. They're being grilled in I think it was the Senate. I can't remember. I think it was the Senate hearing, and so they had to bat off a lot of the Democrats who like to do the usual gotcha questions. So that's going to be interesting there. All right, so let's jump over to the. Let's just jump over. We just had the interest rate announcements, right? And Jerome Powell stepped down. We had no change. Well, the next rate review is in 6 weeks and 5 days, so a long time away, almost 7 weeks. So the 17th of June, that's going to be on, and so it's a long time to go. And of course, we'll have a new chair. We saw the new chair, Wash, get essentially selected in the Senate, and I think it's just pretty much sign here almost thing to it for his appointment. And so we're expecting him to come in and be more favorable to rate cuts and better money management. The odd thing that we saw was that Jerome Powell decided to stay on, saying that he wouldn't be too visual, but he wanted to stay on. Typically, he wants to stay on because he's a Democrat and he wants to cause trouble. That will probably what he will be doing behind the scenes. So keep a lookout for that. You can't trust these crazy Dems. Anyway, we've got 5.6% at the moment, expecting a rate cut of 25 basis points by June. In July at the moment, we've got 9.5%. Expecting a rate cut. So we'll keep a track of these two metrics. And we've also got the main inflation measure coming in the economic calendar, haven't we, coming up? And that is, let's have a look there. That is, let's see what we got that this week, is it? Yeah, we got that coming up. We actually had the result, haven't we, from the looks of it? So core PCE data there came in 3.2% at forecast. Last month it was 3%. So it looks like we've got pretty much flat inflation there. And so if we've got interest rates at 3.5, 3.75, you could argue we could at least have a 50 basis point cut, if not 25 basis point cuts, to get us down to a 1-to-1 percentage. Have them equal to each other. So we'll keep a look out for that. So that's where we are right now. I don't know what we've got for the rest of the week. Tomorrow, we've got the manufacturing index that will sort of show the health of the economy. And of course, we want that to be growing because the previous one we had was 52 on the ISM. And of course, we want to see that continue to grow because that is one of our key metrics there that's pumping, that goes along with the pumping of the Bitcoin and the crypto generally. So this is one of our top two indicators from our point of view. So we'll keep a lookout for that. That's very important coming out there tomorrow. So yeah, lots of news to feed. We're going to have a bullish weekend for Bitcoin. I think it's looking like that. We just got the Bitcoin conference. We've got inflation coming in nicely. We've got a ceasefire at the moment, and then we've got the ICM manufacturing index coming in for tomorrow. OMG, and we got a lot of Mag 7 results and oil and energy coming in. Could be quite the weekend. Could be quite the weekend for the old crypto. So that bodes well. So I hope you guys are feeling good about that. But we're going to talk about crypto generally. In fact, I just lost the page I was going to look at. Let's bring that back. But trigger happy there. Let's talk to a couple of people in the chat, though. Obviously, we had Leech Star coming nice and early. Go, bro. We got Matt and Barley in the house as well. Howdy, Suitman. Great to see you, Matt. And, of course, hey, what's happening with Jacob's product, the algorithmic stablecoin? I think it's in the same holding pattern as always, Matt. And that is that he needs ETH to run so that the collateral is big enough for him to launch all the pools that would be required. And number two, he needs the Signum Oracle or some similar Oracle, and he has mentioned the potential oracles to go live. And of course, that's relying on Stu and his ecosystem of project. You've got a lot of projects, one dev, maybe two devs working on all those things, so it's quite heavy. And of course, he's been focused on Tetra, but hopefully we'll get Signum. Signum is apparently finished. So and it relied on Tetra. So that's kind of where we are. Don't think I've seen any update on that at the moment. I could have a quick look later on, so we might pick that question up again later on. But let's keep focusing on the big news here, the crypto market. We just had a pump just before I started live streaming. So I think we're heading pretty nicely. Inflation data comes in, pump. Everything is heading in the right direction, guys, isn't it? Yeah, thanks for the heads up. You're most welcome there, Matt. I just called it a holding pattern, obviously. If you're wondering what project it's talking about PUSD Algo, the big decentralized or hybrid decentralized stablecoin. And of course, that will be, I think, a pretty bullish protocol. I think it's definitely Jacob's flagship from my point of view. All right, so let's go into the results here. We got total market cap at 2.65 trillion, up 1.2%. And Michael Saylor is talking about 200 trillion. So bring that on. That's not 100x, but maybe what's that, an 80x higher over time. And we got Bitcoin at the moment at 77,000. So we had a nice pop in the last hour, up 0.7%. We're sitting up 1.5% on the 24 hours. We're still down 1.8% for the week, but I think we're going to wipe that out over this next few days. So no, let's see what happens there. But everything's looking like it's feeding the fuel for the fire. And number two is Ethereum there, up 0.7% for the last hour as well, at $2,281, up 1.2%, still down 2.2% for the week. XRP is $1.37, up 0.1% today, down 4.8% for the week. BNB at number 5, flat at the moment, down 2.89% for the week. Solana there, up 1%, down 2.8% for the week at $83.86. Tron at 32.6 cents is up 0.6% today, down 0.8% for the week. And finally, Dogecoin, which has been getting a lot of the love, and that is up 11.3% for the week, but 2.1% today. And that is going to be benefiting, no doubt, from X Money Wallet, which is expected to launch public version sort of out of the limited beta next week, is my understanding for X Money Wallet. This will be one of the mass adoption wallets probably for crypto. We talked about Beast Industries, but this is another one. There will be a couple of main platforms that will be doing mass adoption for crypto. We're on takeoff time, guys. It is kind of a no-brainer now, and that's where we're heading. So they're going to have a non-crypto wallet first, but I think within a month or so, they will definitely have crypto in there as well. And no doubt Dogecoin there picking up some volume there, or picks up value. Let's have a quick look at the stablecoins before we move on to the top 100. But we've got USD Tether number one there. We currently got $189 billion of value there. We've got USDC is number 2. We've got $77 billion of value there. We have seen more issuance of Tether and more issuance of USDC. Obviously, Tether is also doing its own chain. We've seen the development of that as well. Then we come down to USDS. That is currently sitting at 11.1 billion, so a rising star there. And then we've got also coming down a bit further here, we got USD1 from the Trump family, essentially, and that's sitting at 4.5 billion. They had quite a few issuances there, but I suggest you we're probably going to get a lot more of that. And of course, we saw Eric Trump at the Bitcoin conference, hyper bullish about Bitcoin, where it's heading, off to $1 million, etc., as well. So he's very fueled there. And then number 5, we got DAI, of course, and that is sitting at just below the USD1 at 4.4 billion. And what did we recently see? We recently saw Liberty Swap support all these top 5 stablecoins. So Liberty Swap is really on the cutting edge. They see what's happening. They're very well studying the market and quite high depth down even to the code of a lot of these projects. So very exciting thing to see where we're heading here. Pulsechain is being set up for the future. Liberty Swap is leading the way, along with a lot of other top projects on Pulsechain as well. Hey, we got Frank White in the house. Bang, bang, Pulse Gang. Great to see Frank White in the house. All right, so that's kind of where we are right now with the stablecoin. I just want to go through that, highlight that aspect. Top 5 in the top 100 in the last week has been Blockchain Capital up 28%, Pudgy Penguins up 14.6%, Dogecoin up 11.3%. So those two, kind of meme coins really winning there, doing very well indeed. Just there up 10.7%, and Aptos is number 5 up 7.9% for the week. So they're doing pretty well at the moment. Last 24 hours, we got White Bitcoin, Provenance, Zcash, Pudgy Penguins, and Just. They're almost the same on that top list there. Top 1,000, we got Bedrock, Meme Horse, and Rivcoin over the last 24 hours. And then trending overall, we've got Mega ETH, Terra Luna Classic. There's those diehard Terra Luna guys. And then we've got the AI Tech Cloud as well. They're both up a little bit there and trending on CoinGecko's platform. So that is the mark there. So we're at 1.2% overall, 2.65 trillion. And we're going to zoom in on Bitcoin because that is the main narrative for today's show. Our second show. But look at that. We got a nice pump. Woo! Pumpity pump, 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 pump. Oh, we love it. We're going to give that a clap. That's pretty cool. So let's get the crowd going. That's right. So just breathe that in, guys. It's up to the right. It's not down. So we're at 77K right now, and we actually pumped on that last hourly candle. We pumped up to 77,427. So, what's a couple $100 amongst friends, right? What's a couple $100 amongst friends for each Bitcoin? So pretty cool. Let's go to the 4-hour view. We're going to go for a shorter view with a trader's view as the 4 hours. And you can see we're trading over the 54-hour moving average. So we've just been pushed up there. Very cool. Exciting stuff. Now, I think that's on the inflation data and possibly on the stretch announcement around the yield. 11.5% has been confirmed for the month of May as the yield dividend for stretch. And that is powering, of course, the buying of Bitcoin through strategy. And look at that. So we're powered up there today. And of course, we're having good results across the board. I mean, there's nothing to sneeze at. In the stock market, everything is pretty green and positive. So looking good there. Strong move at the moment. Let's go to the longer time frame. So the shorter time frame looking good. The daily, and we're sitting well above the 50 moving average on the daily at 73,800 is the 50-day. And the 200-day is at 82,183. Now, that's obviously where we're wanting to get over, right? Want to get over that 80 to 200 mark, let's say. And that's kind of take us into the next value, right? And if we look at the weekly's about 86K. So there'd be a nice little spot there. Now, everyone's talking about short squeezing, of course, in Bitcoin. And, of course, the negative interest rates that we've recently had. And that means, in other words, that the people that are shorting Bitcoin, expecting the price to, trying to push the price and expecting the price to go down, are having to pay the people that are taking out long positions, people that are expecting the price to go up. And so that's kind of been quite exacerbated and very bizarre, the amount of time that's been the case. And so everyone is thinking the probability of a short squeeze is getting even more and more. We've seen part of it happen, but this could even get even more, and so therefore we could even get pushed higher, because as the price of Bitcoin goes up, the shorters are betting against all the people buying spot and I guess OTC ultimately, and they're betting against them, betting against Michael Saylor's strategy, betting against the ETF buying, betting against the whales buying, all those agencies buying Bitcoin, and they're going to lose the game. That's the whole point. They're going to lose, and it looks like I think they're going to lose quite dramatically. And so then they have to go and buy Bitcoin and cover their positions and close out, and that adds even more buying to the Bitcoin, and we get a hyper pump, a short squeeze. And so people are talking about even getting up to 94, 96K if that does occur. Even part of it's going to help, right? Part of it's going to help. So very, very exciting stuff happening there. Leach says celebrate. Absolutely, always project a bullish attitude. That's right. Onwards and upwards. So this is where we are right now. Nice little recovery. We were up at 79,500, kind of a resistance level, right? And we want to get over the 80K. We came all the way back down to 75K. We're now back up at 77. So, the volatility in that zone. But we are kind of out of this area, right? We're kind of out of this area. And we've kind of been testing, and we've been staying over that 50 moving average, which has been rising dramatically, right? Rose from 70,000 back on the 7th of April, $400, and now is sitting at 73,750. So exciting stuff. Now, you guys know on a daily, if we get the 50-day crossing the 200-day, we get a golden cross, and the golden cross in the TA terms is hyper bullish and generally will signal a bigger move ahead. So very cool. Occasionally they can close out, but generally they will be a bullish cross there, and we could get something really exciting like all this stuff. Look at that played out, and we've got the bullish cross. So exciting where we're heading here. All right, so that is the old Bitcoin. Now we got obviously Michael Saylor talking about Bitcoin at the Bitcoin conference, there, or at least talking about it. I don't know if this is the exact conference one. Yeah, Bitcoin 2026. So let's play this little clip here. It's only about 30 seconds. Let me just zoom in on this a little bit there and get that looking nice. All right.
And what's the end game? The end game isn't that complicated. It's give a bank account, an 8 to 10% a year yielding high yield digital bank account to 1 billion people, drive Bitcoin to $10 million a coin, and make Bitcoin a $200 trillion network until it grows higher, and give everybody in the world an alternative to 20th century credit instruments, zero yielding bank. And what's the end game? The end game isn't.
So that's really important, and we're going to watch this one more time, but listen to him talking about banks coming on board. This is a key catalyst for mass adoption, and of course he's doing it through the credit markets. And instead of offering 2%, imagine being able to get offered 8, 9, 10, 11% at the bank, completely turning 20th century credit up on its head, and all that money, all that differential there through stretch product, a preferred stock, buying Bitcoin and pumping it up, pumping the price up and adding to the collateral. It's really the big game in town, right?
That complicated. It's give a bank account, an 8 to 10% a year yielding high yield digital bank account to 1 billion people, drive Bitcoin to $10 million a coin, and make Bitcoin a $200 trillion network until it grows higher, and give everybody in the world an alternative to 20th century credit instruments, zero yielding bank.
So you can see how such a game changer this is in front of us, and I don't think it's too far away, the bank side. He's already doing the credit market side with institutions and retail, but actually getting the banks into play, and he's talking to these guys, right? He's talking to these guys. Morgan Stanley yesterday said that they were pretty much, in bed with them. They were pretty much talking, and so it's game on. It's game on, and we're in takeoff phase. You guys will look back at this moment and dream about the fact that you're here at the right time and right place, as we all will. So very, very exciting stuff here. All right, so kind of cool. That is from Michael Saylor, and we've been getting some good stuff there. I'm just going to go check out a few of his other posts recently. because this is certainly contributing to the markets. We're getting a lot of innovation in the markets at the moment, but I just wanted to scroll back down. I think it's down here a bit further, and that was 4 hours ago. He confirmed that the stretch dividend, this is the preferred stock, is going to be maintaining 11.5% dividend yield for May. So we're already seeing that March and April have been incredible. I think we got, including common stock and other preferred stock products, we ended up getting about 45, I think it was 45,000 Bitcoin last month, if I remember off the top of my head. So that's an incredible amount of Bitcoin. There's just not going to be enough Bitcoin in the market, and so the price is going to get pushed up. That's essentially what's happening here. Very, very, very exciting stuff. So there's all the things that are in play right now, and we're seeing things really start to ratchet up there. We're also going to be moving to this semi-monthly dividend. That vote is actually now open, I believe, going through the June, and we should see that's going to increase the rate because it's going to lower the volatility between 1 month and going ex-dividend and having it every 2 weeks paying out the dividends. So that will flatten out. Therefore, we won't have to wait 10, 11 days before we start getting stretch back to $100 and going ATM or at the market, issuing new stretch and raising capital and buying Bitcoin. We'll be doing that faster. Let's say 5 days or even less, 4 days before we get back to $100, and we'll be raising more capital twice in the month. It's going to be really insane to see this, but I really think it's going to be absolute takeoff time, and we should expect, I think, to see this by the end of June / early July really start to pick up. So we're about to, not only has it been fantastic for March and April, but I think we're about to go next level because they just modified the product, and it's going to be the only preferred stock paying out bi-monthly dividends in the market. So it's very, very special. And as you guys know, all the big institutions are after reliable, well collateralized, high yield. So this is a game changer, guys. And the big money is coming. We've seen $1 billion days last month, and of course it's going to be struggle. Where are you going to get the Bitcoin from, right? It's going to be a struggle to do OTC and all that sort of stuff because you're going to need more buyers willing to sell, right? And once they see the system start working, then they go, well, I don't want to sell my Bitcoin because, a lot of individuals are holding the Bitcoin, right? They want to sell my Bitcoins. I see what's happening with the big picture, and so I want to be, getting the big gains. So we'll see what happens with the supply as it really starts to disappear, and we've got all these players coming in from strategy with the stretch product, vampiring the debt markets in the United States, money market, debt markets, private markets, etc., and pumping Bitcoin with it. So it's really, really exciting. And then, of course, we've got all the rest of the things that we're going to talk about. We've got the ETFs, net buying now, and we've got more ETF, more banks coming in, offering the product to clients. It's expanding the product range as well, well through to wealth clients as well, IRAs, etc. This keeps going. And then we've got, obviously, we're going to get an update in the next week or two from the United States government around their Bitcoin strategy as well, from the looks of it. And then we got the whales buying, and retail will probably be a bit late, a bit late to the mark there. We're Hexavator. Hey, good to see you. Hey, gang, welcome to the chat. So exciting stuff happening, as you can see, with Stretch and Strategy. And man, he had a full crowd at the 2026 Bitcoin conference. Very exciting to see that. Strive, which is a second layer product built over the top of Stretch. They are obviously investing, offering a retail product packaging for a lot of the stuff that Strategy and Stretch are doing. They have voted for the semi proposal with their 500,000 shares. So there we go, getting a lot of support from the market. We're also seeing a lot of other enterprises here like APYX. They are also voting for it as well with their $130 million Stretch shares. So you can see they are the largest holder too, by the way, APYX of Stretch. And these entities are repackaging it and basically, allowing people to pick up their stock and get the yield that way. So exciting times, guys. Exciting times. More and more entities are coming in over the top, on top of Strategy and Stretch. It's only getting more bullish, spurring on that demand. All right, so exciting stuff happening there. Now, let's have a look at the future price of Bitcoin. We looked at the current price. We saw we just got pumped in the last hour. We've had a range of good news, economic news, inflation. The market's doing well. The Mag 7 generally doing well. So we just keep pushing higher, and then we've got geopolitics has come down for at least for a little bit, and then we've got the manufacturing index coming out tomorrow, which I think is going to be pretty damn good. I think it's going pretty good. Damn, fourth month in a row. I think it is after a 2-year hiatus. So I think we're game on for that, and it's one of the two key measures that matches the bull run for crypto. So everything is aligning. The stars are aligning. So the future price path there. Well, obviously the Bitcoin power law is generally considered the best model for Bitcoin tracking, and you can see we're still just coming off the bottom. We're excited here. We've got the bottom here at 57K. On the red line, that's the support line. We've got the current price at around 77K. I mean, it's 76 here, but 77K. And we're looking to head up here. We've got the midline at 164K, the top of the line there, that purple, the resistance line at 590. And if we just go to the end of the year here, we can see that the target price is $205,000. $205,000 is the end of the year target price here. And we have seen that we've had these big bull runs, right? So we had the big peaks here all the way back in 2011, the big peaks here in 2017, the last bull market, which everyone enjoyed, the peak in 2017 here, sorry. And then we had the last one we had was 2021, right? So we've had these beautiful runs with the double tops there. And we have had also between those times, we've had little peaks, right? There's little, what they call these mid peaks in here as well. And we had a mid peak there. And then we've also had some mid peaks recently, right? We got to 126K on Bitcoin, but we just think that's a mid peak, and we're about to go to the real peak of the bull cycle. And that's looking very tasty. It could be at 205K, but it could be even higher. The top of the resistance is 700K. OMG, could we have 700K at the end of this year? Well, I don't know about that, but I think we're going to have a pretty damn high price given all the fundamentals that are lining up, right? We've got all these buyers coming in, supply disappearing. It really is pretty crazy. Remember that the Bitcoin miners now are only mining, I think, something like 13,000 Bitcoin a month. And Michael Saylor's strategy alone bought like 4 or 5 times that last month. And that's just one buying entity. So I think we're just game on now, and so on. So let's look a bit further afield at the end of 27. End of 27, we're looking at around about 277K on the midpoint. That's the green line for Bitcoin, 900K on the purple line, the resistance, and 98,600 on the support. And so very exciting. You can see this line's lined up very well with the support there as well. So as we go up a square on this chart over time, I think that's a quad 4 times. So it's going to be pretty aggressive to the upside with the old price. So very, very exciting stuff here with the where Bitcoin's going. So, heading towards Michael Saylor's 10 million. Well, it could happen way earlier. I'm not sure how far this chart goes to, but it does get to 10 million by 2039. But I think it's going to happen miles before that. I think it could happen all the way back here, and this power law might get broken. But I think we're going to. I think we're probably going to have it happen. Let's see, 10 million. I think we're definitely going to have it probably by 2032 or something. I think, even though it says 2.8 million here, I think we could very well have it by 2032. That could definitely break apart the power law here. We shall see as time goes by, because obviously this has done pretty well so far. But that's indicating a resistance line by 2039. But I think we're going to hit it well before there if Michael Saylor and everything else plays out as we're expecting. So hyper bullish scenario there. I remember his midpoint, I think by 2045, it was his mid range was $13 million. He has obviously a high range, and I think he has a lower range than that, but that is kind of some of his modeling that he's done in the past. All right, so that is exciting times. $10 million, bring it on. Let's have a look at Ethereum right now. Ethereum there breaking out too, and Ethereum's obviously going to benefit from the Bitcoin capital that flows through the Bitcoin pump, but also it's got its own narrative, right? It's got its own liquidity coming in. It's got its own institutions coming to take positions. Many of them are the similar ones, of course. They're all betting on Bitcoin and Ethereum. Bitcoin and Ethereum are the main plays. It's where most of the liquidity is coming in. Most of the key leaders are passing in value and leading value into the future. And in terms of Bitcoin and the debt markets, well, on on Ethereum, we're getting finance coming over, right? So institutional finance, everything is getting tokenized. We're getting stable coins. We're getting AI agents, etc. The list goes on with the amount of applications that are coming over to Ethereum, and it's going to be very quick. We're talking about over the next 18 months, we're going to see a massive, giant ramp up because a lot of what they do is they often establish a couple of tests where they put on some products and they see how it goes, they learn lessons, and then suddenly if that's running pretty well for a few months, it's then they just bring on the rest of the 99%, right? And so that all happens within a short space of time. Once they commit to getting their first products up, it's all game on. We see some of the biggest asset managers coming in, banks, etc., coming in to do that. So it's going to happen very fast, guys, with this action. So very exciting there. We're also going to see a change in risk profile as well for those that are more resistant, like people on boards, executives, etc. They have to change constitutions a lot of the time, all sorts of things, and they're going to want certain types of vehicles, custodial, etc., regulated, etc. All those sort of things. We've got lots of different type of entities coming in, and that's going to be a multi-year process. But we're going to get a lot of quick adoption in the first couple of years. So we're very excited about this at the moment. So, we had a nice little power pump here on the last hour. We got it to $2,294. And now we're sitting at 2,282. We got finances coming to Ethereum, and it does seem to be winning the stablecoin and the tokenization RWA themes at the moment, and it looks like AI will also dominate as well. Doesn't mean that other chains like Solana won't do well, of course, in the space as well. But Ethereum is the battle-tested chain, and that's what institutions will want. They want something that's battle-tested and hard, really, really solid. And of course, Bitcoin and Ethereum, particularly Ethereum, under Vitalik, and that they have a roadmap for quantum protection to get that in place by 2029 as well. Obviously, there's a bit of a race there, just to make sure. It's a bit like Y2K, just to make sure that it's defensible against quantum. Probably actually much more important than the Y2K issue, if you guys remember that. For all the young bullies out there, all the young bullies. So that's kind of it right now. $2,283, and I think we're setting up for something nice. So let's go to the 4-hour on the old Ethereum. 4-hour there. We're on the 4-hour lead. We can see that we're bounced off in the last couple hours off the 200 moving average of the 4-hour. That was at $2,255. We're now heading towards the 50 4-hour moving average, which is currently at $2,298, and we're sitting at $2,284, just below that right now. So keep a watch out for that. I think we're in for a good weekend. I think we're going to be a good weekend, unless of course Trump decides to do the second wave of military action. That's a question mark there. But that is where we are right now on this chart. All right, so let's jump over to the daily chart here on Ethereum and check that out. We've come out of this range just like we have with Bitcoin. We're looking pretty nicely distanced as well because we're over the 50-day moving average, which is currently at $2,245. We're at $2,282. We've got a bit of a journey to get to the 200 moving average, which is currently $2,610. This is based on Coinbase data. And so we've got a bit of a ride there. But we're still in the zone, right? Still in the zone there. And I think we're set up quite nicely for the weekend here. Now, one of the things that we did see is Bitmine immersion, just like Strategy is the number one digital asset treasury for Bitcoin. And they've got a lot of DATs or digital asset treasuries doing a lot of activity in the space. They've got Planet, they've got Mara, all of them, Bitcoin. They've got a number of the top digital asset treasury in Bitcoin are making a lot of investment, and that's about to compound on top of the investment already out there. But now we've also got Ethereum moving, and particularly Bitmine immersion is easily the standouts. In fact, it's relatively, I think, more dominant on the Ethereum than Strategy is on Bitcoin because there are other DATs doing some work over there, right? They're going to be doing buying. I think we've only really got two decent, at the moment at least, two decent DATs that are operating number 1 and 2, right? So we're going to keep a lookout for this, but Bitmine immersion continuing its march, and what a march it is. They just staked another 162,000 ETH worth 365 million 6 hours ago. They now have 4.2 million ETH staked. Isn't that incredible? So I think that's about 83%. I think they're up at 83% of their total Bitcoin that they hold, Ethereum that they hold, which I think they've got 5,140,000. I think they're at the moment. So they've now staked 4.2 million of that ETH, and boy, it's earning a nice yield. The yield's also gone up. It's drifted up from 2.8 to 3%. So pretty nice there. I think it's something like 42 cents a share now for BMNR, which is the common stock for Bitminer Mission. And so that's just going up as well. So you can imagine if you get a 10x in price, and that 42 cents suddenly becomes like $8 or something. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. It depends on your the numbers you're doing, but it is going to be pretty exciting where the dividend will go. So pretty crazy stuff. That's how money's made. That's how the winners get. The winners win. We've got Harry Williams in the house. Hey, long time to no see. What's up, Superman? Hey, great to see Harry Williams. Yeah, just doing the usual, man. Just covering the markets and all the hottest stuff. It's looking pretty exciting. So that there is some of the big news there coming out. And of course, we see that Bitminer Mission has bought another 60,000 ETH this week. No doubt they'll probably buy some more. They've been doing about 101,000 a week for the last 2 weeks. We could see them buy another 40 or so Ethereum as well before next week's disclosure on Monday, right? So that could be coming too. Very, very exciting to see that. So we'll keep track of all that. All right, so that is some of the hot stuff there for the markets. We're going to get into Pulsechain next because obviously Pulsechain there is a full system stake fork of Ethereum based on the 10th of May 2023. And so we're going to break down some of the pump mentals there. Now, Pulsechain, of course, was set up and launched by Richard Hart. Richard Hart had obviously founded Hex, the first certificate of deposit on the blockchain. And of course, that pumped into 2021 as one of the top 5 coins of that bull market cycle. And so that's part of his claim to fame. And we're excited about where the future will go. Obviously, we've had a very big downtrend in Pulse, lots of black swan and gray swan events, but we're all sure that the bottom will eventually come, and the glory that Richard Hart seeks in the Magic Art Ride will reveal itself to the very, very toughest of holders as we get through the other side. So we're pretty excited about where it will go. And of course, if ETH goes up, then the Magic Art Ride could be super, super amazing. So it's just about a matter of picking up the good stuff and holding on until that time. Now, we've seen Richard Hart making some commentary against certain members at the moment that are finding it a little bit tough. So we're going to go check out one of his posts and then look at some inspiration from Fat Sammy, a Pulsechain influencer out there that's been covering it. I thought it was a good little video, so we'll cover that too. All right, so this is what Richard put out yesterday. He says, because the prices suck so bad, talking about the Pulsechain chart, looks like it's almost down, I think, for 9 months. We're going to check out the Pulse chart later on. And we've got people are crashing out and lashing out left and right. Can you imagine if people lashed out at Vitalik, of course, the founder of Ethereum, for not founding a DEX? Now, we know Vitalik, of course, sold lots of Ethereum, right? In fact, recently, I think over the last 48 hours, he's sold all of his donated coins as well, taking all that into stablecoin and ETH. So Vitalik there, liquidating everything. Now, Richard, of course, do you think people were lashed out of Vitalik for not founding a DEX, not founding a bridge, not founding a coin launcher that burns ETH, in this case Pulse, of course, with pump tires, not beating the SEC in court, not making a blockchain time deposit protocol, not market buying Deca millions and never selling, not sending advertisements and merch door to door, not giving away free coins, not selling millions of coins to people for marketing on chain, not running free chat rooms, not having a YouTube channel, not giving out free books he's written, not founding a couple of free Infura RPC devs build on and for people to use. That'd be crazy, right? And of course, these are all things that Richard Hart has contributed, right? So that's using the negative there to show that out. And some interesting things in this list, right? And one of those, of course, is not sending millions of coins to people for marketing. So obviously, we've recently seen Hex get delivered on eHex to something like, 8.6 million people or something. So we've seen that recently. We also have, of course, not giving away free coins, because we're talking about the Pulsechain launch there, the fork of Ethereum, and all the free coins that were copied over. So he's got some pretty interesting things there. It's a good thing people aren't ungrateful trash, so they don't harass them. So there we go. In other words, maybe just cool down, cool your jets. And it flashbacks me to last year. Richards did a couple of videos last year. One was, of course, the Christmas video, and he talked about the fact that that he was more interested in Pulsechain season, right? So he was and he also said he was working, and so he is working, and he is focused on Pulsechain season. And so, it's no need to give him too much flack or this or that. So I think he's kind of shot a few shots over the bow there just to tell people to cool their jets and just be a bit more patient there. He obviously knows the prices are down, but you just have to bide your time, and that's kind of where I think people are at right now. I did a positive version of that, right? So I posted this out, about all the positives that turned into positive. Had only one issue there, but that is pretty cool. So yeah, he is working, and very excited about that. He also alluded to $10,000 Hex last year. ETH last year, and of course that was the first time he really had dropped the price on ETH. And of course, that may be reflected on when maybe we see some action on the Magic Carpet Ride as well, with all the ETH sacrifice money. If you hold that view that he will utilize that in the future for the most diamond hand, was it Pulsechains out there? All right, so building on that theme, of course, Fat Sammy had done a good video today when he's out and about walking out on the English soil there, and he did a little video. So we're going to hear a little bit of this as we go through here. And of course, he is a Pulsechain influencer and OG, as well as I guess a leader in the Pulse Bitcoin community as well, one of the big communities on Pulsechain. So let's hear from him.
Hey guys, Fat Sammy here. Just saw a reply that Richard Hart gave to someone who's feeling a bit low, just reminding him that bear markets don't last forever. And it made me think, going through some of the photos from all the Pulse Bitcoin meetups we've had over the last 3 or 4 years, that Pulse Bitcoin has never actually enjoyed a bull market. Certainly not an altcoin bull market. We haven't had an altcoin season now in 5 years, or since 2021, yeah, 5 years. So just keep that in mind. If we can achieve what we're achieving the last few months on the charts with the growing community, and just think what we can do when the market starts picking up and we get an altcoin season. So keep on trucking, guys. Thanks.
All right, so a bit of positivity and encouragement there from Fat Sammy. He obviously does a lot of leadership in the Pulse Bitcoin. That chart up 30x as well, pretty amazing. And also does some wonderful coverage on X as well. So if you haven't followed Fat Sammy, definitely give him a follow. I'll post the link to that video. And this is what it's all about, the community, backing up the community as we bide through, trying to find a floor in the Pulsechain price and get to the other side, to the Magic Carpet Ride side, as many of us are excited about will happen in the future there. So there we go, Fat Sammy on the move there. We have quite a few projects and communities at the moment really humming on Pulsechain. Even though the market's down, they are really creating a lot of value. We obviously had True DeFi on earlier in the live stream earlier today. Fat Sammy's doing great stuff around the Pulse Bitcoin community. But I think we have, we probably have at least maybe 15 to 20 communities that are really, I think, humming if you add them all up. So pretty exciting. Of course, we have hundreds of others out there. But, we've really got, I think, 10, maybe 15, 20 communities that are really humming at the moment. And of course, we cover a lot of them on the stream, but it's pretty good. And so I look at it as a cup half full, and some of these are really doing some pretty amazing returns as well. When you think of ZKP out there recently, big X returns on there. We've seen a lot of others, the RH Meme and many others there. We just had the Mega launch, so there's lots of activities happening on the old Pulsechain there. All right, let's not forget Emmett and True Farm. I mean, they're crushing it too, right? So exciting times ahead. All right, let's get into the Pulsechain. How do we do so far? Now, obviously, normally I cover right at the end of the day. We're just probably an hour or two above that, apart from that. But let's see where Pulsechain is at the moment. So we're at day 1,085 since Pulsechain launched on the 13th of May, 2023. A full system state fork of Ethereum on the 10th of May, a few days earlier, 2023. So that's kind of where we are. We're 1,085 days later. We have the price at 50731 right now. We're at 1%, so very modest increase, but at least it's green. We've got Pulsex at the moment at 50589, up 2.5% right now. The buy and burn sitting at 8.91% based on GoPulse numbers. INC token, Inc token, the old Pulsex farm incentive token, essentially the inflation has dropped to close to zero, and we're at just below 35 cents right now, up 2.67%. And then we've got Hex, or what we call Hex on Pulsechain. PHEX is currently at 1,300th of a penny, up 1.5%. EHEX at the moment, 00058. That is also pretty similar to yesterday, I think. And the combined price of EHEX and PX at 1900th of a penny at the moment. So super cheap value to get the old X. And the current PHEX ratio to EHEX is 1 to 2.29. That's gained a little bit, isn't it, in the last day or two. Let's go to the gas prices at the moment. So gas prices, 1 million beats, 0.3 of a penny for a Pulsechain swap. So pretty cheap there. Pulse, of course, is the #1 DEX on a Pulsechain, and that's founded by Richard Hart. We're sitting, the validators just popped below 50,000. We're at 49,881. Someone did post something to me about why that had dropped off a bit. I don't know. We might get a chance to go check that, but we shall see. And then the bridge at the moment dropped below 70 mil. In fact, we've dropped even further. We're at 68.5 million. We did have some more, I think, DAI go over the bridge earlier. We might check pulse alerts to confirm that, but that's kind of where we are right now. And this number still includes the coast, 15 million. So that probably needs to be taken out or adjusted there. So that is the leader stuff there, the kind of the key global metrics. Let's jump over to the pro performers at the moment. And let's see what is humming on Deck Screener. We're also going to go a bit further today. We're going to be looking at the top LP pools on Pulsechain as well. We also had some drama around PDAI. We had a big seller sold back out into Pulse and into DAI itself. That's EDAI, that is. PDAI to EDAI. And so that's caused a bit of drama as well in the community. After that, had a nice little run, didn't it? Had a little baby run there on the old PDAI. That bullish guy says Leech to, yeah, that bullish guy indeed. I don't know if you're talking about Fat Sammy. Yeah, he's bullish, he's for sure, and for good reason. We've got staked ETH there at the moment, is up 18%. This is a Pulsechain fork token derivative there. And then we've got SCADA. SCADA's been up quite a bit, hasn't it? It's been on the top here for quite a few days. It's up 15% today, sitting at 4500th of a penny, so just under 0.5% for the old SCADA. It's tied into ProveX as well, Richard Hart's latest technology and coin. But look at that price. So there is money to be made on Pulsechain. You just got to be savvy and do your investigation, do your research, watch good content creators, hint, hint, and on the way you go. So it's doing pretty well at the moment. So we came all the way. Obviously, you know, a lot of charts do this in crypto. That's pretty familiar. And we had the rally, and then we had the sell-off, and that's pretty normal, right? 00076 was the bottom there, so that's in US cents, and then we've rallied all the way to 0045, so just under 0.5 penny, and that's been a nice little gain. Let's see what the gain is. Gaining about 550%, so that's a 6.5x your money, all things equal, in 63 days. So in 2 days, it's a 3x a month, just over 3x a month. Not bad, right? Just got to be in the right projects, of course. And this is a retail play, so just remember that. A lot of Pulsechain projects are retail plays. We have maybe half a dozen that are a bit bigger, bigger players. But you know, once Pulsechain rallies, that will thicken up, right? We're going to look at that later on. All right, so that is SCADA there. Let's jump over to the next one. We had Amiga. Amiga just recently launched 4 days ago. Cabal King is involved with this. I think Kairos as well, behind the technology. Can't remember exactly, but definitely Cabal King there. That's up 11% at today, and it's been around 4 days. And that's got further rollouts to happen, I believe, with the old Amiga. You can definitely check that out in the Telegram if you want to find out more. It's only, pretty brand new. Hasn't really been sold off. Probably some reasonably large holders in the project. You have to check, find out, do all the due diligence around that. Typically, if a price chart holds up, normally there's some, cornerstone holders. And what's this got? I think this has got it's got a quick intel here. It's got a 5% buy and sell tax. Has a blacklist, so that's what I mean. You've got a blacklist on there. Suspicious functions. You can go check that out. Probably not a problem in this case. Cabal King's pretty reputable. As far as I know overall. And we've got the DAO-driven DeFi engine there. What else there? Hex yield. So you're going to be earning Hex yield in here. So that's another Hex derivative, essentially. So it's ticking away there. You can check out all the websites and stuff like that. Leech says ink will melt faces eventually, says Leech. Well, I've argued about that because I know there's large whales in it that can pump it because they're large holders, and it does have third-party protocol support like Farms, like Emmet Farm. But it's lost its primary use case, right, which is incentive token for Pulsechain. So unless Richard does something where it becomes like a DAO token or something with the Master Chef contract, I really don't know what that's going to do. To me, it's got second lowest liquidity, I think, and so it's easy to relatively pump. But it's also derivative, on paired up with Pulse, so it's got heart laws as well. But I really just don't see the use case so much. I'm a little bit more critical of it. And of course, we'll see what happens. But it has pumped in the past, so I won't deny that people can move it. But let me know what your thoughts are on that, Leechstar. Be really interested to see your perspective. All right, so let's look at the 4-hour chart since this is quite new, and you can see it there at the moment. Normally a good idea if you're new to crypto is to add an RSI. So you can just go up to the function button here, go RSI, and this will tell you whether something's overbought or oversold, and it's a pretty reliable measure. And if you're going to have anything on a chart, it's always good to have this. Now, the 4-hour view is a trader's view, so it gives you a bit of an idea. You can see we've got plenty of room to move, 56 on there, and the daily won't have one printed yet, right? So the daily will take a while to print that out, but that is pretty interesting. So Omega there, I believe they're going to have staking or something else coming. There's the ecosystem's got a little bit of a roadmap, I believe, so you can check that out. ICBM. Now, ICBM is one of the parent projects there from Nuclear Supply, one of their 2 tokens, I believe, for that. And of course, SCADA is a derivative, an expansion of the ecosystem there from the Nuclear Supply. So they're up 9% as well. Let's have a quick look at ICBM. They had a big deflationary mechanism. It's very gamified, around nuclear, of course. And I really love the site. The team does a great job. They've been pretty quiet recently, but they're actually, building behind the scenes there. That is the price of IBM there. Not too bad. Low on the volume. This is paired up with SCADA, but certainly getting a lift there, almost 10%. So not too bad there for ICBM. So it's got some pretty decent tokens leading the way today. And we got our good old friend there, Peacock. Arguably the biggest, most dynamic project on Pulsechain, and that is one of our blue chips that's dynamic. And when I say dynamic, that means that they're rolling out non-stop ecosystem DeFi, expanding the ecosystem massively. And they're also, it's like having a river, and you put all these villages along the river. Each village is like a DeFi, and it just gets a booming society. And the river is the bridge, right? So they're running one of our, essentially the big fast bridge, the latest technology, multi-chain. And not only is it bridge on the Pulsechain, but bridging all over the place. And it's just an absolute kraken, right? That's why I call it kraken, a Pulsechain. And it is just something that's just going to build over time, like a fine wine, and just mature. It's very exciting with that. So Peacock is the official token for Liberty Swap. Currently, it's up about 8.4%, so starting to move after a little bit of selling pressure by some page 1 and 2 wallets. Obviously, they were interested in going to some of these other new token launches. I don't know, but it was one of the most profitable tokens. So probably taking a bit of profits there and putting it to somewhere else, something like that. There's all sorts of things people may have been doing, but certainly it has seems to have slowed down now. So let's have a quick look at the Peacock. We're going to have a look at the chart here, and we can see on the daily that we've had a bit of a pop out here. So we got down to 1.1 cent, almost back to 1.2 cents there on the March. And the pulse ratio is more important, right? Everything's more important, but pulse down so much, the ratio is that what counts, right? So it looks like we bounced off 1,500. We're now just over 1,600 on the mark there. Not back over the 21 moving average on the daily, but certainly if it gets over that, you got to say, well, it's probably going to have a pretty good chance to run up there, maybe like this, or maybe actually have a breakout like this. And one of those two probably will happen, one of these. Now, obviously, they're expanding their DeFi right now with really top-tier protocols. We just saw the wallet launch, and we've also got the yield product launching as well. So very exciting. We're also looking at Liberty Swap, Liberty Pool coming up stage 2 and 3. That's also going to be extremely important, adding more stable coins and more chains to their ecosystem. So this, they really are the kraken on Pulsechain here, expanding the DeFi, and they have much, much more coming down the pipeline. It is insane what these guys are capable of doing. So we're excited about that. Now, the wallet drop, of course, we had over the last 2 days was a big DAT, right? That's a big thing to do, doing a wallet. And so they're going to be enhancing that next week and moving forward as well. So it's exciting times, guys. We've got another big wallet on Pulsechain. It's so lucky. We've got, getting optionality there and different user experiences and more features. All the other products that Liberty Swap launches gets to be put into the wallet as well, expanding its use case. So very excited about that. But the yield product coming up, I think it's going to be big for volume. I'm excited to see where that goes as well. We have a lot of top tier projects in Pulsechain tied into their LP with the Peacock, just like they are with ProveX. and I suggest to you that they will probably be some first movers into that yield product coming up from LibertySwap. So very cool stuff happening there on the daily. So keep a track on that. Let's go to the webs. Let's go to the X and see what they're up to, because obviously these guys are just actually leading the pack here. Very exciting times. So let's scroll down and see what they've been up to over the last wee while, last 20 hours or so. We're going to go down to the bottom here and see where to start. We're finding a few charts there. 8 hours ago, we're not too far back down here. 10 hours ago. How far back we're going to go today? I think we're going to go let's do 22 hours ago, because I'm not sure if I covered this yesterday. Every order from Liberty X is a limit order designed exclusively for intent solvers, market makers to fill. So yes, it naturally provides MEV protection. You can't beat this rate. So yeah, we're adding more Peacock using Liberty. So there we go. And that's tomorrow. So keep a lookout for that, because I think we're starting to see a little bit in the chart. Maybe they bought another $2,000 worth of Peacock, but this is going to accelerate, guys. So their buy power at the moment, I think it's with Liberty Swap and Liberty X, maybe the Shield product, I'm not sure of memory, but they are equivalent buying power of 10,000 Pulsechain wallets, Pulsechain validators right now. And so if there's 50,000, they're essentially one in five. They've got the equivalence of economic power from the fees that they're earning, and now they're dropping the wallet, and then of course the yield product could be a massive scaling of that as well, especially if it gets into the millions of dollars of volume a day. We're talking about some serious fee earning there. So it's just patience with these things like this when they're building out a juggernaut. And it's very exciting. And remember, this is all frontier technology in crypto as well. So it's not just cool having the dApps, but actually it's cutting edge as well. And for not just for Pulsechain beneficiary, but for multi-chain beneficiaries, and not just for EVM, but also SVM chains like Solana as well. So we've got a lot of cool things happening. All right, so that is LibertySwap. Let's scroll up here as well. We're going to get up here. There's got a couple of price sentiment charts here from them. I'm not going to read through those today. Let's see, to scroll back up here a little bit more. They're just doing some market commentary there. They got a comment 7 hours ago about the SKX wallet that they've dropped. Now, if you haven't downloaded that, you can get it on extension. They will have the mobile version and other versions, but at the moment it's the Chrome extension. You can play around with that, download it, to have it as a degen wallet, see how it operates for a week or two. It's up to you. And then obviously they're going to have enhancements next week, and obviously continuously, just always improving. But they got ZKX Wallet started as software development by a team. We plan to open source it and then transition into one of many contributors alongside the broader dev community there. So this is their roadmap for the wallet. So you could wait if you want to, before you use it, you can wait till they do open source. It just depends what your risk profile is and what you're putting in the wallet, etc. Privacy products should be open source and governed by the DAO, and that is the roadmap that they have for LibertySwap generally. So that's the direction. Kind of cool. Let's see if they've got any comments there. Emmett Farm says Labor Liberty setting the standard for Emmett created products. Yep. Open source is good. I don't see any downside, especially given how capable AI is now. Closed source systems can often be analyzed and attacked just as effectively as any open source ones. When DAO airdrop, everyone's interested in the airdrop. Everyone's interested. Still have to wait for native railgun. Otherwise, the DAO has nothing to govern. The token is useless. So there we go. They're still waiting for a native railgun implementation there. What else there? All right, so I think that's kind of it from them on that post. I love reading their little comments because you always find some little gold nuggets there. Kind of cool. Let's scroll back up here, and we're just looking for the updates, aren't we? So this is 5 hours ago. So the main DEX on Mega ETH splits fees 50-50. Half goes to liquidity providers, and the other half is retained by the protocol. So quite a bit there for Mega ETH. The new yield product from LibertySwap, which I'm extremely excited for. I think it's going to be a public good, not just for Pulsechain, but multi-chain value capture. And they've got our new liquidity pool proposes a different model. 80% will be liquidity providers. So basically the LP providers will be able to set their own fees. 80% will go back to the LP provider. And I suggest to you, obviously a lot of low-hanging fruit, all the teams that are paired up to LibertySwap. I don't, this makes sense to me. And remember last year that LibertySwap was saying, hey guys, if you're in the team, come and pair up at LP. Well, it looks like one of the reasons might have been very well for this yield product. And then we got 10% of the revenue earned is going to go back to Peacock and HODL. So they're going to HODL that, and then 10% is going to be Peacock and Burn. Now, I believe that Peacock and HODL may be used for Treasury. My only question about that was whether they should do stable coins or something else. Yeah, they could use it for LP, all sorts of things. But, I guess that's where they're going. Now, the other thing is we know that Liberty Swap is using Peacock to set up other LPs and obviously grow the ecosystem as they grow their product development. So there's lots of things they could potentially use that there for. All right, so that is kind of cool. And they do need, maybe they do need further capital as well, although they've been bringing in a lot of capital guys into their own protocols, talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars. So we'll see what happens there. All right, so that is kind of cool. Liberty Swap products are by the community and for the community. Slowly and surely, Pulsechain will have the best of everything. Kind of cool. What else we got there? Yeah, so what we got there? There's a comment. We should show everyone the power of the bird. Maybe should buy some Peacock. Should be soon, says Liberty Swap there. And I think we probably will get some more today. You watch this team. Shillgate's in the house there, getting out and about, getting more excited about Pulsechain. What else we got going on there? 38 minutes ago. So this is pretty much hot off the press, guys. America's in the house. There's bless up. Yeah, absolutely bless up there. We got Peacock still moving, still building, still showing up. Never forget why we came together in the first place. Never forget the scale of what Pulsechain can become. Never forget the conviction that brought us here. We believe in the vision. We stay the course. We keep pushing forward. $10 is inevitable there. So, they're always doing their twerking as well. They like the twerking theme there from Richard Hart. All right, so that is, I think, the latest and greatest. We're going to do one refresh here before we exit the Liberty Swap. But these guys are very exciting what they're doing for Pulsechain, and we're excited to see where they head. And, of course, the next big thing, in addition to enhancements to the wallet that just launched, is the yield product. And then, of course, also the other stage 2 and stage 3 from their Liberty Swap product with Liberty Pool coming as well. So that's going to extend from just USDC multi-chain to other stable coins as well. Remember those top 5 I talked about at the beginning, Coinbase? And then, of course, the more chains. So that's stage 2 and 3 plus the Liberty Pools. So these guys are busy, man. They're busy stuff. Now further down the line, and we're not asking for it all today, but they're going to be doing Liberty Lend, which I think is going to be enormously popular, and they're going to be doing lots of other things in the future as well. I don't think they're doing staking for Peacock at the moment. I think they're essentially saying staking, especially some of the comments last year, that staking there, I'm getting a bit of blinking eye, staking there with Peacock will just be in your wallet essentially. So we'll see what innovations they have around that, because last year they were teasing kind of meme coin airdrops with pump tires and stuff like that. So we'll see what happens in that space. But certainly there's the DAO token and the wallet airdrop for Peacock holders. My current understanding for that at the moment is about 60% of the token supply will be going to Peacock holders. So if that holds true, obviously the team is the final word, but that's kind of the latest indication that we've seen from them. Then that would be pretty exciting. Obviously, we'll probably get a run on the old Peacock for that, which I'm not really keen. I mean, it's a normal part of crypto, but the main thing for the team is to launch their quality business products, and these are game changers in the market, and that's what I'd like to focus on. So I think they've done a great job with that. So well done to Liberty Swap for the way they're launching these products. Very cool. All right, so that's Peacock right now. So Peacock on the rise. It's number 6 and 7 on the leaderboard here. But then we got the number 8 is World's Greatest PDI Printer, up 8%. We got Coin Mafia there. Obviously, we talked about pump tires. Obviously, Coin Mafia there, multi-chain coin launching site there from Rack and Michelle. That's up 7.8% at the moment at $2.14. Had a bit of profit taking yesterday, as moving back up there. They have at least 1,000 validators sitting behind that as well. And they've indicated maybe 2,000, maybe 4,500. We'll see what happens in the future there. Zero Trust right now, obviously one of the trifectas tied into the Peacock. They're doing their own DeFi ecosystem and stuff like that. They're up 7.7%. UFO DAI, often the leading peer, is at number 11, up 6%. Pump Tires DAI, obviously we saw the PDI sell off. We're going to look at that in a minute, but that is up 5.5% on the old Pump Tires DAI. Let's have a look at this. We got a couple of different DAIs, right? We got the E DAI, we got the Good DAI from Matty Allen, we got the Pump Tires DAI from Pump Tires, and then we've got the P DAI, the Maker Fork, right? So we got a few DAIs. Did I miss anyone? Don't miss anyone. But that's kind of where we are. We've got a lot of PDIs there Let's all just amalgamate them all into one. Let's just do that. It's a bit more efficient. I know Dip catches in that game, right? He's like, let's amalgamate all Pulsechain and put it onto Ethereum again. So it's you've got different perspectives out in the marketplace about all that, and some good arguments around it. Anyway, let's go have a look at PDI. PDI here on Pulse Coinless. Another one of our top stat sites. We've got Pulsechain Stats, the top stat sites. Pulse Coinless, the top stat sites as well. But we can see at the moment, after the big run up on PDI, we're back down at 1400th of a penny. We're down 25% for the week, 9% today, and we had a big seller. Let's go have a look at that. I think it was Crypto Soul. We covered it. So let's go see what he has to say. He's one of our quants on the chain. Yeah, we got our own quants, just like in The Big Short. Let's go find him. Don't tell him I said that. He might laugh at it, but who knows? We got the quant in the house. We got Crypto Solve says in the last few hours, one wallet went on a large PDI dumping spree, offloading 71 million in a short time frame, and has since dumped all the PLS they acquired from doing so. Approximately 14.5 billion Pulse eventually dumped into DAI. That's to be EDI. A little over $100,000 of sell pressure there. And I got the wallet there, which looks like it was emptied. He's out, they say. So there we go. A couple of receipts there. And so quite a bit of money going out there. Just after we had, some people were saying that Betterbank was selling, or the Betterbank hacker was selling the other day. Obviously, the other wallet, the whale wallet, got hacked for 42 billion Pulse or something as well. So I don't know. We've had a bit of a tough week. I think we've seen about 1.5 million dollars leave the chain just when you think things couldn't get any worse, and we get another big exit there. And of course we saw that impacting on the bridge value there. Frank White says, why would he do this when he could have 71 million USD someday? Crazy, right? Obviously, I think talk about PDI to $1 there. So yeah, that is some of the stuff there. All right. Did they make money? PLS Follow says no, though the number should be better by 100k, as it doesn't factor in the tokens that were moved to sell today. So there we go. All right. What is this? This person says, so the peg will be delayed until further notice for PDI. So there we go. So a little bit of drama there. What's the chain without drama? What's the chain without drama? So we got PDI there. Now, one thing I want to talk about is the volume. So we'll come back to Pump Tires. So Pump Tires is doing pretty well. And let's look at the weekly candles. Let's go to the pulse ratio. And this is still looking pretty strong. So we're PDI getting a lot more volatility. This actually is looking not too bad. Almost 20 pulse per Pump Tires DAI at the moment. So there we go. All right, let's jump back into the leaderboard here. So that was a Pump Tires DAI at number 12, up 5.5%. Swarm at the moment, number 13, up 5%. Finvesta, the sort of the grandparent of the OG WebChef ecosystem, that's at $1.16 right now. That's up 4%. Liberty at number 15 is up 3.75%. Let's see, let's go down a bit further here. RH Pepe's been one of the top performers recently. That's been around for 11 days. That's up 3% right now. Let's have a quick look at that. Obviously, do your own due diligence. Nothing's financial advice. US dollar terms still looking pretty good there. I'm not sure of the security safety side of things, but generally the quick intel is okay. But once again, always do due diligence before you get in there. But people have been saying it's been doing pretty well. Let's go to the 4-hourly chart. We can see the pulse ratio up at 228 there at the moment. So there it's onwards and upwards there. There seems to be some selling. I don't know the safety of it though, so just take note of that. Very important. We got curve here. We got two curves, right? We got the normal curve. We got the CVRE. That is up 2.7% today as well. And curve here is a real world real estate developer that focuses on project creation. So I don't know if it's a full RWA sort of tokenization there of the real world real estate, but you can check out the website and find out all that. We democratize real estate. I guess that's what they're trying to do there. Market 2.8 million. So that is curve with the CVRE. Let me know in the chat if you guys are familiar with that at all. We've got Crypto Mentor in the house. This is anyone from Bangladesh there. I'm not sure if there's anyone in the house from Bangladesh, but if you are, let them know. What else we're going? We're going to keep going. That's at number 25. We've got Liquid Loans, essentially the third largest sacrifice. They do 52 million in sacrifice value. They go around the world doing conferences these days. That's up 2.4% in the last 24 hours. How's it looking? This is one of our blue chips, but I really don't expect it to run until we have a pulse chain reversal. But let's have a look at the pulse ratio and see whether it's starting to run a bit early. and we can see it's kind of come off from a lower zone, but still, sitting at one liquid loans equals 0.024 Pulse tokens at the moment. So still sitting down there at the moment. I mean, it used to be, the first week, these are weekly candles, it was pretty high, but subsequently it's been down all that time on the Pulse ratio there. So not particularly good. The liquidity is very small, 31K, and yet they took in $52 million. Let's argue, for argument's sake, they used $5 million to develop liquid loans, the multi-sig, and the Fetch Oracle. It's still a lot of money, right? And you only got 31K sitting in the pool. So I don't know. It's controversial from that point of view. They did deliver their products, so you can't argue with that. But liquidity is pretty strange there. All right, Hex Goldwell went in big there too, didn't he? And so there we go. It is what it is, as they say. At least they're going around the world doing the conferences, I guess. We've got what else we got going? We got Emmett Farm. Emmett Farm has been leading the way, right? So we've been talking about that. Maybe I should do a live stream about all the bullish projects that I think are kind of out at the moment. Should we do that? Let me know in the chat if you think that's a good idea, or on X, leave a comment. So at the moment we've got Emmett Farm, pretty much our leading farm along with True Farm. These guys two are kind of leading the APRs. And that's kind of the ultimate measure, I guess, as if you would say. And they also have a very wide range. In fact, Emmett's got probably the widest range of offerings with all the other project teams in it. And it's sitting very handsome. Look at that. Emmett is at $1.38 right now, looking very good US dollar terms. Let's look at the Pulse ratio. This is the highest yield product, farm along with True Farms right now. And we can see 189, almost 190,000 Pulse per Emmett. So look at this, looking very, very awesome. And we know that from the True DeFi team, which we just interviewed earlier today. Check out that stream, really great stream. We go through their products and the high level stuff in there. So great introduction to True Farm, True DeFi, and True Farm. And so yeah, pretty cool. 190,000 right now. Let's go have a look at the website briefly and have a spot check at some of the yields. You can go to the website, go to farms, and you can see the APRs at the moment, just insane. Now, this farm's been around for over a year, which so this farm is just crushing it, and high APRs for a long period of time. So $1.39 right now, token price. They're emitting about 750 tokens a day. So what's that, about maybe $1,100 a day? So it's it's part of the really clever sustainable tokenomics. They have just about every top team you could imagine with LP farms and pools here. I mean, they really got the whole list. But they also have a pretty unique thing there. So they got the modest emission rates. They got the staking Emmett. You can stake Emmett and earn EDI. And I think this is one of the secret sources here, along with the emission rate, has been the EDI earnings. You can earn about 98% APR on stablecoins. It's about 1.3% of your capital back a week in terms of income. And you've got 245K TVL in there. And we know that True Farm, I think they have something like 28, 29%. I think somewhere in that ballpark. You have to ask the team exactly, sitting in here earning EDI every day. Isn't that pretty amazing? So awesome stuff. So whatever they've got in there, let's say they have, what did I say, 28. Let's say they have, let's say 100K in there. Let's say 100K. They're earning about $1,300 a week based on this, which was close to $6,000 a month. So there we go. It gives you a bit of an idea some of the capital that's going back into the True Farm system there. So pretty magical stuff. All right. Then they've got a lot of pools. They've got Emmett Farm with all the Richard Hart coins from PulseX to Pulse, etc. They've also got non-Emmett Farm pools. So they've got Dian Pulse, Incan Pulse. So lots of non-farm there. Then they have Pulse Bitcoin from Fat Sammy, Vouch, number one Pulsechain validator, Pulsechain store, giving out a lot of free t-shirts and stuff like that. RhinoFi, niche player, and of course Zero Knowledge Proof there, printer there as well, which we covered. Another Kairos. This is Kairos's project as well. First project out there supporting ProveX. You earn ProveX with it. Ink printer from Fast Abdul. True Farm there from the True DeFi team. Pump tires. We got all those tokens in there as well. Community tokens. The Grays currency, one of our biggest communities on Pulsechain. Our biggest nonprofit, Vic Foundation, supporting first responders and vets. Crypto Paradise, one of our largest KOLs on Pulsechain, and many others function on other farms as well, being supported. Pretty awesome. Hocus Pocus, a lot of influencers, including Access Alive, Randy Alasky, Nexian, another big ecosystem on Pulsechain, doing leverage and farming, and then Vox, another farm. So these guys are everywhere, lots of top tier stuff, earning high APRs. So pretty awesome stuff there from Emmett. So yeah, looking pretty good. What a strong community. Like I'm saying, if you do your research, you do get involved, do your due diligence, there are lots of opportunities to earn, good DeFi income, as well as potentially big X's as well. So you just got to, do your homework there. What else? We got number 43. We got ProveX from Richard Hart. That is currently up 2% right now, sitting at 6,500. So just sitting in that zone, isn't it really? Let's have a look at the biggest peer and see where this is at. So it's below the 21 daily average at the moment, which is sitting at 7,200, 4072. It's now at 40s 6,500. And so that's just chumming there. It's off yesterday. Yesterday it got down to 6,200, so it is off the bottom there. It was at the bottom though. Is at the bottom there. Obviously it rolled over here. You can see lower highs, lower lows. And it is below the 21 as well. So just looking for a bit of a decision tree there. Will it be able to break high here? And I think that if we get over 7,200, you got a bit of a confirmation there that could be on its journey on the way back up there. Market cap though is at 83.7. It hasn't come down to my zone again yet, but that's sort of a subjective zone relative to other Richard Hart projects there. So we'll see what happens. Obviously, got a lot of speculation, a lot of support there as well. So it seems to be holding up above that zone. All right, so that's kind of ProveX right now. We've got DAO token, one of the top tokens in Pulsechain for meme coins. That's at 41, and that is up 2% as well. What else is interesting here? We've got remember another OG web chef there. That is at number 49 at 1.7%. True Farm, we talked about Emmett Farm, or True Farm also obviously from True DeFi, doing incredible as well. Let's look at the price there, looking pretty nice. Actually, I've got it on the market cap, haven't I? Let's go to the US price. And we'll go to the daily there, and we can see we're at almost 80 cents right now, looking pretty strong, right in the middle zone there. And the pulse ratio, tell your friends, it's at 108,000, is it? 108,000 pulse per True Farm token. And of course, let's have a quick look at the website as well. Riding along that 21 daily average, right? It's riding that curve, but like a surfer. And we've got obviously there's a fork of Emmett Farm, but this is run by the True DeFi team essentially in terms of management, maybe not in terms of technology, but management. And we've got the price at 80 cents essentially. We've got a emission rate of 1,036 tokens, so that's even less, isn't it? That's about $800 a day, so it's even less than the 1,100 I think we saw from Emmett, about $300 less. The APR though on the single side staking is higher. We're sort of about 98% on Emmett at the moment, 162% on True Farm, and they've got $600,000 in there. So what's that? Not quite 3 times as much, but certainly quite a bit, maybe 2.5 or so times the amount of TVL in there. And of course, earning sweet EDI. Currently 1.87, 1.9% a day, 0.25% a day. Sorry, a week 1.9%, monthly about 8.4% there, and of course yearly 162%. So pretty nice capital there. Now they're probably sitting on a pretty good position there as well from True Farm, True DeFi, I should say. So when you add up all that revenue, they're really starting to earn, pull that money back into the system of True Farm, and that's how they're getting high APRs, driving it in there. And then they've got the RC going and doing more investment there with 10%. So it's quite a neat and novel approach to creating value. So we'll keep watching that. And they're on day 131, can you believe it, since they launched the 2x Pulse miner. So they got at the moment, they got obviously True Farm matched with the Richard Hart tokens along with DAI, also ProveX. They got a pair with Emmett Farm, so True Farm Emmett there, sitting pretty nice at 140% APR. What else we got going there? Pulsex, they got Pulsex pairs as well. Community tokens, they got obviously RhinoFi, Gelato, Tetra from Stu's doing the Signum Oracle coming up, and of course Hero as well. So they're just growing. So they're probably going to grow a lot of their partners, as we saw earlier in the live stream. They've got a lot of partners that are involved with the 2x Pulse miner, and no doubt we'll see a lot of these teams pop up here on the farm, no doubt, and watch that activity too. It's going to be pretty fun to see. So far, so good. All right, so how we doing for time? We're up to 1 hour and 24 minutes. So we're having a great day today. I mean, I did an hour and a half. Now I'm doing another hour and a half. We're having a lot of fun here in the old Pulsechain. Bitcoin pumping, so why not? Why not? Hex is number 56. It's up at 1%. Halgo, I should say, it's a Hex derivative. What else we got going here? Let's scroll down a little bit further here. PMX 500. That's up 1% as well. ZKP, zero knowledge proof, up a 30% today. Oh, this is another project from Kairos, so the Emmett farm. Kairos is everywhere, guys. If you haven't worked it out, he is really, I guess he's, outside the protocols like Liberty Swap. He is the king maker developer right now, leading edge, not only in tokenomics, but also DeFi as well. So Kairos there from Emmett Farms. So you're well. You should join up to his Telegram and get involved there because he also has the most flourishing airdrop machine as well. So you're getting airdrops from tokens constantly. It's a pretty amazing place to be, as well as getting the leading cutting edge DeFi on Pulsechain. So Kairos, they're doing a great job. Up only, says Sean. Up only indeed. So we're sitting at 0.0044200 right now on ZKP. And let's look at the pulse ratio. Pulse ratio right now is looking pretty good. 58 pulse, 58 pulse per ZKP, and looking pretty strong in this chart. Volume is at 5K, and if you look at the volume chart, this is what you get paid. There's a 5% reflection tax, and you can see the volumes are pretty consistent. And of course, we've got what's that? What am I trying to say here? We've got. Let me go back to US dollar value, and we'll go to the volumes here. So we've typically been around. It's typically doing about 5K. Is it? I think it is. And then sometimes it has 10K days and 15K days. I think that's how it works there. I'll make sure I've got the right stuff on here. Yeah. So yeah, I think some of the peak days 15K. So you can just imagine if you're earning 5K and then you go to 10K, you're earning twice as much that day when you're earning 10K in terms of reflection tokens, right? So you basically buy ZKP and you stake it and then you earn ProofX, I think is the way it works. So kind of cool. I bet we covered it yesterday, didn't we? So let's quickly look at the website. So yeah, let's go to the stake platform here. This is Kairos, of course. Volume generates rewards. Every time ZKP is traded on Pulsechain, 5% of transaction value is automatically, and I say auto-magically, used to purchase ProofX from the open market. Rewards flow to stakers. The purchased ProofX is sent directly to the staking contract, where it is distributed proportionally to all active ZKP stakers based on their share of the pool volume-driven yield. So pretty cool. And there's a staking page there. You can stake your ZKP and earns that sweet yield, currently indicating 173% APR. Not bad. It's about 2% a week. And that's just by buying and staking it. ProofX, of course, is Richard Hart's, and we saw the chart before, sitting at 406500. So if it goes on a rally with the Richard Hart magic, then the zero knowledge printer there being the first DeFi adopter outside of the DEXs and aggregators could be in for a great run. So first mover advantage does a lot, and of course got a lot of support there from Kairos's ecosystem, no doubt. All right, so looking good there. What else are we going to say? I think that's it. So we got 60 coins are in the green right now, and most of them doing better than Pulse slightly. I think Pulse was up to 1% today. So we've probably got at least 54 coins, over half doing better than Pulse. Now in the red, what's in the red right now? We've got some pretty big projects in the red, even though they're big. Now they're not, huge generally. We've got a lot of James Maria in the red, down 7.5%. Like Reserve Tay, Teddy Bear, Dominance there from OG WebChef down 5%. What else there? 9mm, which has kind of been doing quite well. We've only got two main dexes, right? Pulsex and 9mm. 9mm being V3, and that is down 2.5% today. Trope is down. Of all the James and Maria stuff, down a little bit today. Not a lot, but just a little bit. And then 9mm there is our second biggest DEX, having a good ride there on the US dollar price, now at 0.8 of a penny. And the pulse ratio, obviously that's what counts. Look at that big pump in the last week. Let's look at the daily chart over the last 4 days. Look at that pump, pumpity pump. Now, typically this would move when Pulse starts reverting in an uptrend, which we haven't got to yet. But it's moving already. People are already moving already, and they're getting the key thing about 9mm is that they give out their profits every month, right? So you go claim them, etc. I think that's done with zero knowledge proof too, isn't it, or something like that? Can't remember the algorithm mechanism there, but that's pretty cool. All right, what else? I probably got that wrong in that case. We got top hat there from Peacock. It's Titan Peacock from Crypto Coffee, down 1.7%. We've got a lot of popular projects here. Rhinofy down 1.4% at the moment. Vouch they're down 1.3% as well, our number one public validator. And of course, Rhinofy is a treasury buy and burn. Pump Tires, the main meme coin launching site there, outside of is down 1.25%. That's kind of where we are right now on the market. So, not a bad day, but not an outstanding day. But certainly we've got some market leaders there moving. Outstanding there is Stake ETH, SCADA, Amiga, and Peacock, and of course ICBM there tied into SCADA as well, along with Zero, Mafia Coin, and World's Greatest Beauty. There we are, quite a selection of leaders today. But you guys, we're going to go have a quick look at Pulse, and we're going to finish off the topic here. What a day for streaming. It is Friday here down under already, so why not? Good Friday, and then maybe cool the jets a little bit in the weekend. How about that? Let's have a look at Pulse and tell your friends about it, because they can pick up a ton of Pulse right now. So it's a great place to DCA in. And Fast Abdul is here as well, one of our leading developers and Pulsechain influencers. I'm here for the tech, says Fast Abdul. He is indeed. There we go. So let's jump into it. We've got the Pulse at the moment, based on DexScreen, is 63 million market cap. Let's have a look at liquidity. Is down to 900K. How thin is liquidity going to get, guys? That's a question you got to ask, right? This is I think the main peer would die, and there's got to be a limit, right? Surely there's got to be a limit, or is it going to get drained by all these dumperinos? I think we're getting pretty close. We seem to be holding the line, guys, at 7,300. This is the key mark, this yellow line. We got the bottom once and for all? We have had some dumpers. We've got the PDIs, the Better Banks, whatever who else is selling down to the whale exploit, whatever that might have been. And here we are, still holding on to 7,300, 7,300 right now on the weekly. Let us hold it. Now, I've talked about we need to find some consolidation for 6 to 8 weeks. It kind of felt like that was what was needed to get a bottom in, and hopefully slightly get some bias to the upside. We haven't quite had the bias to the upside yet, but we're still holding that 7,000 mark on the Pulsechain price. So 5 zeros, 7,000. I'm just ignoring the zeros for those that are new. And so that is a US dollar price. So onwards and upwards, 7,300. Obviously, at the moment, you can pick up a ton of Pulse right now. I'm going to say that. When they did the sacrifice, Pulsechain was a big sacrifice, and people were sacrificing about $85,000 worth to pick up a billion Pulse. Think about that. $85,000. Now you can pick up a billion Pulse for $7,300. So not $85,000, but $7,300. So that is how dramatic this chart has been. So let's turn off everything here, and let's go have a look at the monthly here. And we're going to come back to this daily chart or weekly chart, but let's have a look at the monthly here, because we have had this chart in play. Look at that. So coming from August, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 months. So we closed our last month, and I think that was yesterday, was it? Yeah, yesterday. 9 months in the red. OMG. And of course, there was a bit of a tit for tat there on X yesterday. Richard Hart getting out there. We talked about all that. Some people are frustrated, can understand that. But he's just like, just stop cry-fagging, just hold the line there. Obviously, if you're a buyer right now, you're picking up a ton of Pulse. And as I said, what would it cost you 85K in the sacrifice is now 7,300. And what's the rule in markets? Buy low, sell high, right? So obviously at the moment you're buying low, and we'll see where it goes. But we're pretty keen, obviously, to get a green candle month. We're pretty keen to get 6 to 8 weeks of holding the 7,000 line. And even though the price can go further, some people think that we might go down to 5,000. I've heard that out there. But I think there's a decent chance you might hold it. Obviously, that's been challenged, that narrative this week, with money leaving the bridge with dumpers. But we still seem to be holding on, and our liquidity is getting pretty thin. So we shall see where we go from here. But fingers crossed we can hold this and finally etch a bottom in the chart. And you never know, guys. Maybe a God mode candle comes. Nothing is guaranteed there. But maybe we see something like that. I don't know. It's always possible, right? Always possible in the house. All right, so that's kind of where we are right now. The moving average, if it's even relevant for 21 monthly moving average, is at 3,000. 4 zeros, 3,000. So that's probably not going to be relevant for some time. but that is a 300% gain, a 4x there in the main feed coin, right? Pulse there, or at least the DeFi version at Pulse. So let's jump over to back to the daily and have a look at the short-term horizon and see where we are right now. So we're going to go to 4 hours, actually. That's kind of the trader's view. So we're bouncing off this low here of 7,000 here. Even today, it's pretty brutal. We popped down to 7,000, testing it again. If it wasn't enough to test it way back here, we tested it again today. And here we are back at 7,300. So really trying to fight to stay over the 7,000 mark. And of course, if we do break it, that 5,000 mark, well, maybe some people are going to be right about that. We'll see. Put your limit orders in. If you want to do limit orders, there's Switch. Who else got limit orders? Liberty Swap. You do limit orders there. There's other providers of limit orders now, blue chip providers out there. A Curve with the CURV, I think it is. They're doing limit orders too. But if you want to put a position in for 5K, you never know. Maybe we just wick down there, right? Wick down there and then back up. Maybe we go down there and stay there. That would be a terrible outcome, of course. So we don't really want that to happen, because eventually we need to find a bottom. As much as people like buying lots of Pulse, we got to get a bottom at some stage, right? And here we are at 50,7,300. We know that the macro picture in crypto is extremely exciting. We just went through all that at the beginning of the live stream, through Bitcoin, through Ethereum. You can't get much more bullish than the pretty much the holy line up there. It is pretty amazing. And yeah, let's see where we go. All right, so we got the daily chart there. We're still below the daily. The daily at the moment is at 50,7,700. So we've still got a bit of work to do there. Not far ahead above us, of course. And that's kind of where we are. Do we need a market maker to come in right now? Do we need a market maker just to wick us up a bit? Now, the key about those market maker candles, is that, yeah, we've got thin liquidity. You can move it pretty high with a low amount of money. But of course, how high do we stay up? Do we go up on that wick and come back 30%? That would be a higher low. We'd be able to sled the floor. Or does it come all the way down 67%? And that's really quite a weak God mode candle. And then it can be pushed back down to where it was before. So some question marks there. Does a market maker come in and do multiple God mode candles to really push the price up? So those are things that we may see in the future. Will we see it around ETH at the moment with ETH down so much? Do we have to wait for ETH to recover a bit? Do we just have some sort of this slow train moving along here? We're going to see some of that. I don't know. We'll see. But keep a lookout. Anything is possible. We've seen that before, right? Execution in the house there. Reposted the stream. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And of course, Execution was on the live stream earlier today with True DeFi. So definitely check that out. We got Frank White in the house as well. Hey, yo. Hey, yo. Always great to see Frank. All right. So there we go. Right now, we're at 73. And it would only be a 6% increase to get back to the 21 there at the moment. And that's on the daily. The 50 daily moving average is at 8,300. We've still got 5 zeros, though. We have to go all the way up to the 200 moving average on the daily. That would be 4 zeros. So we'd lose a zero, get the 1550 on that mark. But as you guys know, for me, the key turning point is 1,200. If the market sees us get over 1,200, that leaves, in other words, we lose a zero and we get to 1,200 and we can defend that line, then we have the beginning of a mega long uptrend potentiality there, right? That's kind of the key stuff we're looking forward to, is that 1,200 mark, in my view, because that would get us over the previous lower highs, right, in this mega downtrend. So let's go to the weekly and have a look at that again. So I said we'd come back to this. You can see we've had 9 months of red months. We looked at that earlier. At the moment, we've got the weekly candle sitting at 1240 as well. So we have the horizontal and we have the weekly, both coinciding at 1240. For me, that's a key mark that we need to get back to. And then we have to defend that and move onwards and upwards. And this mega downtrend that we've seen in the chart, let's get the highlights here. This yellow line right here, this big mega downtrend. And of course, don't forget we had the SEC in the middle of that for 2 years. And that's not really fair, right? That's not really fair. But in addition to that, we've had lots of black swan events around sacrifices, around contract exploits or manipulations. And so we've had a lot of, Mr. Dong and everything else going on. So we have had to put it all out. Are we going to defend 7,000? Is this the time? Will we get some consolidation for 6 to 8 weeks? And then will we join the rest of the market on the way up? And of course, we still have the issue of rotation. Will we avoid that this time? And people see that Pulsechain is cheap. And so they stay and they accumulate and we get that rise up. Will we see a market maker coming up? We've had Richard being quite vocal recently Is that something that's going to happen? He's talked about God mode candles. That's no guarantee that he's going to do anything right now. Last year, he talked about $10,000 ETH. Is it something for the future? We shall see. Obviously, he could do all sorts of things right now with thin liquidity, even with some, just putting a little bit of capital there. He has done it in the past. We've seen in the wick candles here, way back after the DCC on the 31st of July. We saw big candles coming in here, in January 24, etc. So we have had it before. The chart itself does show that we can move at different times. This January period here, that was a 56-day move, and we did almost 300% inside almost 2 months. So we have got the ability, and of course now we're coming off really thin liquidity. So we had a 2x there way back between September 24 and December 24. So these are the couple of key parts. Obviously, we were in a continued downtrend there. Like this one here was 150% in 42 days. Over this longer period was 218% in 140 days. We haven't had much of that at all in the last 9 months, red months, 9 months in a row. Unbelievable. Are we in for the bottom right now? There will be a bottom at some stage. We've got lots of development happening on the chain. There's always enough people around. So to support a certain value on the chain, et cetera, et cetera. So you could take the negative view of a chain value, and that is just turning off everything, because that's another way of looking at it. But here we are at 7,300, and let's see if we can hold this and lay a foundation for 6 to 8 weeks, and then hopefully get a move on. But as I say to you, for me, the real measure is to get, since we've had all these lower highs and lower lows, is to break out and get over that 1,200 mark. That seemed to me the very clear line, also matching the weekly 21 moving average, which is at 1237. So that's kind of my summation at the moment. We have got lots of room in the RSI for it, just like we had these other rallies that we just went through. We had the RSI moving. We've got a lot of room. We're just skimming along the bottom for a very long period of time. Look at that. And so we've got a good chance that we can move up. So, from a market maker point of view, I think we've got lots of opportunity there. Thin liquidity, and we've got a lot of development actually on the chain. We've got a lot of good teams. We cover those every day. Maybe 10 to 20 teams that are really doing a lot of excitement on the chain, offering the upsides. We're always having some good DeFi's launch, so we've still got activity there, and we've got a lot of marketing going on. ETH being dropped, promo pads going around the world, new big influencers coming into the chain with a couple hundred followers. So we do have that magnificent movement. Obviously, we've got the Pulsechain monster thread out there every single week. And next week is coming up on Monday, is 1 year of the monster thread. Can you believe it? Of the hottest Pulsechain news that comes out every week. So very exciting development there. So 1 year next week. I'm very excited about that. I know MVS is as well. All right, we got Excuse says, great work, Superman. Love the content. I appreciate that so much. Very, very cool. And in fact, it deserves a nice clap. All right, so this is the Pulsechain chart. Let's get into some of the other aspects as well. So we talked about Pulsechain. We talked about the top performance right now. We've talked about the mega theme with Bitcoin and Ethereum looking absolutely beautiful. I mean, it's a dream come true, and I think it's going to be wonderful. Let's have a look at the number of tokens that have 100K volume at the moment, because I think these are very important, right? This is based on post coin list data, so just take note of that. I'm just assuming that to be the case. Across, they do have a very good coverage of a lot of tokens, and far more extensive than the deck screener that we look at with the 100 trending tokens there. And so if we just sort by 24-hour volume, we can see that Pulse at the moment is doing about 2.37 million based on this data. We've got PDI, which just had the sell-off. We just talked about that, the big dumper there at 623K. We've got Wrapped ETH right now at 517K. Hex on Pulsechain, I think, on Pulsechain at 266K. PulseX at the moment, 250K in the 24-hour. ProveX at the moment, 220. So, Richard Hart still dominating with his tokens, plus the forked PDI there. And then we've got Troper from James Maria, 150K. Wrap Bitcoin, also another fork coin there, is 115K. Of course, that is the fork coin of the E-Wrap Bitcoin from Ethereum, which is backed by Bitcoin, right? So that's a custodial held on the old Ethereum side, and this is a very small subset of the total amount of Bitcoin. Of course, about 20 million, was it 60,000 Bitcoin out at the moment? So just a small fraction of that, about 130,000 Bitcoin or something. So we're sitting 115K on that. So we've got eight 8 different pairs based on Pulse coin list data that are over 100K. I call these the Titans, right? These are the ones that are, giving us some pretty decent volume. And of course, if we do, at the moment, we've got Dick Screen. So let's go back to that quickly as we go through this. Dick Screen at the moment doing 3.7 million, excluding the balance of forks, right? And so, we've got these ones contributing a lot of that value, right? So that's kind of the kingpin. These ones are the Titans. They're the ones that are turning a lot of the volume. If you're a project team out there, if you're a farm or whatever, these are the coins that you really kind of want to get attention of. You want to obviously offer value to and tie into, because they're the kind of the kingpins there. We know that ProveX, of course. We know that Peacock, of course, here as well. Peacock's just under 100K right now, but keep a look out for that, because Peacock goes over 100K every so often as well, depending on where the chart's going. And over time, I think they're just going to grow because the ecosystem's getting bigger and bigger, and there more value is being captured and going into it, right? So that's something to look out for as well. They're at 85K right now. Obviously, we've got EHEX as well. They can do it too. We've seen EHEX climb relative to PHEX over time. And even though that's a bit of a volatile relationship, it keeps the uptrend still being there. That's 78K there. Incentive token, of course, can get there too when everything pumps, 68K. And of course, prices are down quite low right now, right? So as prices go, all the US dollars value is going to go up. So if we do get Pulse, doing a 2x, we're going to have a lot more coins going into the 100K mark, right? This is a simple math there. We've got some of the James and Maria stuff, of course, as I mentioned, like a Tropa, Treasury Bill, all on the move there. Wrap Bitcoin, of course, 45K. USDC often moves up with PDI, right? PDI with the USDC, USD Tether forks, and that's at 41K at the moment. Reserve another James and Maria DAOT token at 35. So you sort of see the ideas. Sun Minimail would have been an absolute high volume, but of course they're just not tapping into their tens of millions of dollars in the buy and burn, because apparently they're going to Solana, but they never seem to leave. I don't know. We'll see what happens there. We got the Grays currency there as well. One of our biggest teams, and it's doing 28K today. So it's one of our biggest communities. So we've got PDI is a big community. The Grays is a big community. We see True DeFi is growing a much bigger community. It's Pulse Bitcoin's a big community that are pretty active and the socials as well. So these are kind of what's going on the chain. USD Tether, of course, along with USDC, gets dragged up as well. In fact, I think their prices are pretty similar at the moment. Yeah, just slightly below USDC right now at number 21, but they're doing 28K. Gas Money from OG Web Chef in there. Now, Gas Money and, of course, the James and Maria products often do a lot of volume cycling, and they're not operating, obviously, at the moment very much relative to what they have done in the past. They can all get in there as well. So you can see some of the stuff there. True Farm, obviously, got the SRE fund, so they can drive value into protocols too, including True Farm. And that's currently sitting back at the moment at about 19K. So that's probably been much more elevated if they get that SRE fund on the move. It's kind of it's kind of a species of one. It's unique, isn't it? A first of sort of investment fund running around, getting top tier yields and top tier DeFi like Emmett Farm and True Farm there from True DeFi. So it's kind of cool to have that optionality. And of course, all designed to get a 2x in their pulse, right? I kind of like the idea of the fact that they're going to have their system miners take over the thing over time, and that's going to be fun to see. I'm really looking forward to that. I don't know when that's in the future, but certainly they've been doing a pretty good start over the first 130 days. So that gives you some of the ideas there. Emmett Farm down here too, doing about 13K, and so on. So that's pretty neat. So we've got different drivers driving things here. And we get all the way down, even a zero knowledge proof printer there from Kairos doing 6K right now. But that gives you an idea. So how many? We got 8 coins today. Some days recently it's been 6 coins. When we head to twice the volume, so instead of doing 3.3 million or so, we're doing 6.5 million. Then we get double the amount of coins, typically doing over 100K. And so instead of having 8, we might have 16 coins doing over 100K in volume, right? So and many of these ones that are under 100K get picked up on that, and that's typically Peacock or Hex, etc. Maybe some of the OG Web Chefs or James Maria stuff as well. So those are some of the stuff going on in the chain. And of course, the ultimate holy grail, of course, is the Magic Carp ride. Maybe Richard Hart does something in the future, but we certainly have a lot of teams, doing what they can, and we also have, a couple of whales splashing out there trying to do what they can as well, whether you love what they do or not. So we'll see. We'll see how it all goes. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. It was a lot of fun going through that. I'm hyper bullish about where things are heading. Bitcoin, of course, looking magical. And I think we're going to get into some exciting months ahead, guys. It is going to be so cool. Michael Saylor there talking about 10 million in the future, but I'm very bullish about where we're heading. The power curve, of course, power law has us at somewhere between 200 and 220 this year if we get to the midpoint. And of course, we could well overshoot that, and I suspect we may, given where supply is disappearing and all the buyers are coming in. Ethereum, of course, ramping up with Tom Lee and Bitmine immersion. All that capital coming into crypto from the debt markets and from the finance markets. It is game on, isn't it? It's game on. And of course, the Magic Carpet Ride ETH is all sitting in Ethereum. And of course, Tom Lee and Michael Saylor pumping the Magic Carpet Ride. And of course, that Richard Hart is controlling. And if he just shaves off even a fraction on the Pulsechain, even every year, Pulsechain could be absolutely glorious in the future. It's going to be a lot of fun to see. So I'm excited. It could be very, very cool indeed. It doesn't take much to move the chain right now. And apparently, only the diamond hands will be remaining. And of course, if you are diamond hands right now, you can pick up massive bags of Pulse right now. It just seems to be sitting on the table there and lowering your DCA and all that good stuff. Now, I just want to do one more thing before we end. That is the PDI chart. Apparently, we did have that seller. I just want to have a look at the charts here, just as on this one. Yeah, look at that. Woo! There we go. Oh, boy, you must say, all the diehard PDI people, they're looking at this, and up and away it goes. Let's the market cap. Let me do the price. It's 15-minute candles. You can see boom, 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 all happen. And yeah, I wonder if anyone had limit orders and switch or something. But that's come back about halfway, isn't it, at the moment? So went all the way down to 1,200th of a penny, or just under 1,300th of a penny. Now back at 1,400th of a penny. Started its journey off at around 1,500th. So in years terms, not a lot, but certainly picked up the volume there. And we saw, what was it, 60, 70K across the pools or something on the old die there. So there we go. Pulse chain is an exciting chain for a drama. I'm sure Sami's having a good time with that. He's probably got some little orders in there. What else there? Leech in the house says time to buy PDI. Well, yeah, you decide. Not financial advice, but it is there, and certainly is sitting at one of the top 24-hour volumes consistently. And of course, a lot of that's probably routing through Liberty Swap and others as well. So it's a key customer in that point of view. 24-hour volume is a key customer. That's kind of a different way of looking at it, isn't it? All right. Hope you guys enjoyed it. An hour and 53 minutes. Had a great time. Hope you did too. 2 big live streams today. I'll catch you again for tomorrow's live stream, and we're going to have a lot of fun. Let's see where the price goes from here for Pulsechain. 7,300. Are we going to get consolidation in the next 6 to 8 weeks? Will we ride up the wave on Bitcoin and Ethereum as well off a low base? And will we see market makers come in? More questions. And of course, a key mark for me is the 1200 mark. Can we reclaim that and get some support? And finally, in the downstream that we've had since Pulsechain launched 1,082 days ago. Onwards and upwards. Enjoy. Take care, everybody. Signing out, of course, the Kryptonite Show is Superman. And yeah, have a great day. Bye for now.